Hi everybody, what's going on? Today we're going to give Esper Control another try. I still don't feel 100%. If you saw my little video blog, I was just sort of lamenting the poor play on my part and kind of talking about how I've been under a lot of stress with work and time and sleep and all that stuff. And none of that's really changed, unfortunately. Um, However, the show must go on, right? I'll do the best that I can. I don't feel terrible, but I am certainly feeling just a little tired. However, I don't seem to be able to escape that. Maybe it's just a bad week. Maybe I can try to catch up over the weekend. So this list was sent to me by Ryan Horvis. I followed up with him on Twitter. And if you're curious, well, now that loaded over there. Let's see. He goes by the name of MXFrodo195. Although if you want to read his message here, I think you can see that he thinks Esper's fun, but he is overall Esper's a pretty mediocre deck in Modern. It's fun to play and interesting, but kind of lackluster. Says it's better than Blue White Red. I don't know if that's true or not. I guess it depends on Talking Draw Go. Anyway, those are his opinions, but this is more or less the list he sent. The only thing I changed was a Dispel instead of a Negate because I only have 3 Negates online and I just don't feel like getting another spell. And I thought, you know what, maybe a Dispel. Maybe it might be nice to have like one really cheap piece of interaction. The deck is pretty true to the roots. I mean, you have the 4 Esper Charms, the 4 Cryptic Commands, double Sphinx's Revelation, and instead of 4 Think Twice, he's on 3 Think Twice and 2 Serum Visions, which I think is fine. I mean, you're generally holding mana up, but it's, Serum Visions does a lot. It's not a card advantage spell, but it does a lot for 1 blue. You get to look at 3 cards and have some library manipulation, and I don't think you can argue that it's an effect that this deck just doesn't want. I think it's probably an effect that this deck doesn't necessarily want 4 of, but I think overall it's fine to have a couple in the deck. Most lists runs 25 lands. This one I'm running 26 rather. This one runs 25. I don't really think that that's probably too big of a deal. So let's give this a shot. We have 2 Fatal Push, 4 Path. We got a lot of creature removal, sweepers. Let's just give it a roll and see how it works out. Taking a while for a match to start, longer than usual. I was going to say that if you don't know who Ryan Horvis is, by the way, I think he got maybe 9th or 14th or 18th or something like that. He had a pretty decent showing in an SCG event with Esper Drago, so that's why I reached out to him. And I know some of you, Josh, Scott, some of you guys sent me lists. They all kind of had a slightly different take, and I also looked at some of the 5.0 lists on Magic Online, and I don't play this deck enough, I think, to know kind of what I want to be running and why in all situations. I mean, I can make some general inferences, but I felt more comfortable about just asking somebody. So that's what I did. Maybe I should just restart this. This is taking forever. Okay, looks like we have a game up. Maximus Bant. I think this hand's probably totally fine. We have some early interaction. I'm going to keep it for sure. It'd be a little better if we were on the play, obviously. Then again, it's like so this is probably a bad matchup, I would guess. This is going to be red-green Valakut. Go ahead and lead with the Colonnade as discussed. Gonna want to get to Cryptic Command mana relatively quickly. The one thing that this version of Esper Drago is going to be super susceptible to, in my opinion, is, well, maybe it's like a Bring to Light deck, actually. I don't know. I'm not sure why they would have the black. Alright, well, let's get our... So we have Cryptic mana up. We just need to survive till then. What I was going to say is if it is Valakut and they draw a Valakut, I think that we're in. Okay, so they did, and so now we're just sort of. We don't have a way to kill it, unfortunately, and so it needs to be 5 other mountains, right? Whenever Valakut, if you control these 5 other mountains. So basically, when they have 5 mountains in play and they play a 6th mountain, that mountain's going to do 3 damage to us. And the problem is we just don't have a way to interact with this, and eventually they'll just play enough lands to kill us. So unless we can quick kill them, kill them pretty quickly with Secure the Wastes, which is obviously not going to. Okay, so we got 1. So we got 3 other mountains. It's kind of weird though that they have all these swamps. Normally you don't see that. I think I probably want to go ahead and deal myself 2 just to have Cryptic up. I think depending on what our opponent does, there's a chance that I might just bounce this Cryptic command at the end of their turn. It might seem a little weird, but we have to if we're gonna have any hope of winning, we can't just sit here all day on our Cryptic commands and do nothing. Scape Shift. I mean, that's a good target for negate. I'm probably just going to negate here because the negate is essentially one of the that's like, we don't want a Cryptic command and use our Cryptics and then not be able to counter something like a Primeval Titan. Thankfully our opponent doesn't have like so much green that they can at some point try to. Okay, so here's the question. This is going to be 1, 2, 3. Do we so if we bounce this and draw 4, 5, so our opponent's barely getting enough. I think I want to. I mean, I would much rather counter his spell, the spells that are important, obviously, but I need to try to find a way to end the game. And right now, like, we're just not doing anything with his turn. And as both players don't really do anything but put lands into play, I think that favors our opponent. So it might seem like a waste of a Cryptic, but now here's an interesting question, and I think we do. I think we want to probably. I know our life total is relevant, but I think that we're going to want to cast a Cryptic command, especially since we drew another one, and an Esper Charm. So our opponent makes his land drop. He has 4 cards in hand. Again, I don't think we're going to win the game necessarily by. Oh, I miscounted. There was no reason to shock. Minor punt. I think I just want to draw here. I was thinking that we could Cryptic and Esper, like bounce this again and draw. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. So our opponent's just kind of short on mountains. Doesn't really matter which one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 4. This would make 5 mountains. Our opponent hasn't been hitting the mountains he needs to, so I think I'm going to snap. Question is, do I snap Cryptic so I can start attacking our opponent, or do I just Cryptic bounce? Maybe I just Cryptic bounce, because I mean, it's not like the Snapcaster Mage is going to really get us there, right? Then again, no, I think it's actually, there's probably a surgical extraction here. Oh, he was going to push it anyway. Well, that's fine, because I was kind of considering just counter drawing, because again, like, the thought process being counter bounce, yeah, it gets us a lot of value, and it's what we want to do if we're grinding, but we're not really grinding, right? We're trying to, let's let that ability resolve. We are trying to we're trying to like cantrip our way through our deck as much as we can and find a way to actually win the game. Another, I don't 100% know that it was a mistake, but it might have also been correct to just like Cryptic this and save the snap for Esper Charm since it digs us a little deeper, but I'm going to go ahead and just get an island here to reduce the chance that we'll draw a land over the next 2 draw steps. Flash that back. Play this. So as soon as our opponent plays another mountain, 1, 2, 3, 4. If he plays another mountain, this already represents 6 damage, so maybe I don't want to fetch. Because I don't think we need to crack that. Okay, let's put this Esper Charm on top. Just discard one of these. We're really getting short on time here. Yeah, so this just seems like a strange version to me from the standpoint of do I Esper Charm now? No, I don't think I need to. Like, these aren't really furthering his plan right now, so we actually, against this particular version, we're, against the other version, we probably would have already been dead. Alright, so let's draw 2. Draw 2 again. We can't snap Esper Charm yet. Oh, wait, we drew this. Okay, so we need to just kind of survive like one more turn here. I'm going to discard all our removal. I don't think we're going to need it. So we got to discard 3. We'll discard Path, and this. I guess I could have actually played that land. My bad. So we're gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're gonna put 9 in. Okay, so maybe our opponent just has a mountain to play here. So I can, if I bounce a mountain here, 1, 2. No, I think if I, yeah, if I bounce a mountain, so this one's currently checking and it's going to deal 3, but if I bounce a mountain when this one checks, there would only be, I think that would work. But I think for now I'm just going to take this damage. Hopefully it's not a mistake. Okay, so one more land is 2 Valakut triggers. Which is 6 damage. So I think I can go to 7 here. Actually, so this is going to be 9. And then, let's see how many lands we have in play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we don't have enough for the double colonnade activation. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 1 colonnade. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I actually, if I hadn't discarded that land, I'd have 1 more land, and then maybe have drawn this land, and then maybe we could actually activate. That's still not enough though. It doesn't kill him in one shot, so we'll play this land this time. Attack for 19. I mean for 9. Okay, so let's think here at our upkeep. We could bounce a Valakut. And I think that would be okay. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So then we have negate, we have logic not up. Therefore, any lands our opponent plays do a lot less damage, and I think we can counterspell a Primeval Titan or Escape Shift. So let's try that. Because when this comes into play, it won't actually do any damage. I don't think that they play Simian Spirit Guide. So we'll logic not for 5. I think I want to negate that so they can't put another land into play. So I guess we really only have to be fearful of something like Lightning Bolt. But we still, like, even if they can kill one of these, Colonnade plus these dudes is definitely lethal. I don't see any reason at this point not to just play out the Snapcaster Mage, because I'm really sure that the game is over. And it's just, putting a little bit more damage into play, because why not? All right. So he had a couple small punts, but I think overall played okay-ish. So we definitely need the Ruined Halos, absolutely. And I think we can bring in this one Crumble. If we draw this and they have the Valakut draw where they get one in play, then we're in good that's a great target. I don't know that I like Click, and the reason is, I mean, let's just see what we have to take out because we have a lot of crap. These seem trashy, terrible. The pushes are horrendous. The paths are not good either. So the thing is, though, we are probably going to need to leave. Let's see what we want to bring in. We can bring in this guy. We can bring in the Stonies. I mean, the Surgicals I think are okay. Like, if we counter Escape Shift and counter Prime Time, they don't really have that many threats. I don't know that's what we're going to be doing, but I'm willing to give it a shot. The Negate's good for Escape Shift, but I don't know that we want that many of those. I think we already have 2 in the deck, and I think that's fine because we got to have counter instance. We have to counter sorceries and creatures. So I definitely want the Ruined Halos. But then again, it's probably better than like a Supreme Verdict. So we have 6 cards here. 8. Okay, so in this case, I think this is probably what we do. There's an argument for keeping in a couple paths just because they do play things like Obstinate Baloths. So, but I definitely think that the clicks are probably better than the verdicts. You know, I think the Negate's probably better than a verdict. I think the Halos are better than these pushes. And I think that these things that do something are probably better than these Path to Exiles. So question is, though, do we really need this many Negates? I think 2 Path is okay, just kind of hedging against, you know, maybe like we Ruined Halo Valakut, but they actually resolve a Titan, and now we're like, how do we get rid of this thing? So let's give this a shot. Darn. Definitely have to mulligan this hand. Oh, jeez. I think we keep this. I mean, it's not great. Do we keep this? No, I think we put that on the bottom because we're likely to draw more lands anyway, and we need to draw some spells with this hand for sure. Esper Charm's a nice start. Can we cast it with this Mystic Gate? Yeah, we can. So we'll play this tapped. I have my orange light on. I don't know what's better, Orange Nathan or Dark Nathan. Cool. Think twice is perfect. I want to. Well, that's interesting. I think we want to. I think we want to do the. I think we want to draw cards. I don't think we're at a point to want to make our opponent discard yet. Just discard 2 that he gets to choose. It's not like he's not going to discard what's important. He's just going to discard probably like ramp spells, which his deck just has a million of anyway. So Oh, okay, so that's why he's playing these other things. Like this means that every single land he plays once he gets a Valakut in play is going to be a is going to deal 3 damage. But I don't think we blow that up. I still think we just want to do this. All right, so I don't think we're going to need to cast this cryptic command just yet. So our opponent sacks this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll be able to counter whatever he plays next turn. So I think I'm fine to just play this and pass. Hopefully our opponent doesn't do anything, just put some lands into play, and then we can flashback this thing twice. Didn't sack it. That makes me think that he's trying to draw lands. Like he doesn't have any more in his hand. Because he want to remove a land to increase the chance that he draw a land. So that's good for us. Gives us a little time. If he plays a land, I'm going to suspect that he drew it this turn. That's my guess. I could be wrong. Okay, our opponent, do we counter this? I don't think so. I mean, we have like triple counters, so. Our opponent is down to 3 cards. So kind of depending, I think, on how next turn goes, we could consider Esper charming him. All right, so our opponent knows about all these cards. Draw land and another cryptic. I think we can just play this. See. Yeah, because I don't think we're going to need to I don't think we're going to need to cast. I guess it's fine to just play the island for the moment. Like our opponent knows about that, so then he doesn't know that if we play the Godless Shrine, he knows what one of our draws was, so we can keep that information from him. Okay, so interesting decision here. Opponent's at 3 cards. Do we snap Esper Charm him? I guess, I think what I'm going to decide is that when in doubt, of which I am, just draw cards. But I do think we want to snap something here. So if we make our opponent discard, maybe there's a chance that this surgical does something really great. Right now we have answers to stuff, so I guess there's that. I don't want to take on this decision too long because we may have to play a game 3. If our opponent's not doing anything, he's not ramping, I think it's maybe, let's do it. Because obviously he's got to be holding something. He doesn't have lands. He doesn't have ramp spells. He just cast those. Or I guess he has lands. That's kind of weird. It's not what I expected. 1, 2, 3, 4. I was just trying to count to decide, can we like attack with Colonnade and hold up Logic Knot, but I don't think so. And I don't necessarily think I want to bounce a land just yet. I think I want to hold on to this Cryptic, so alright, let's play this and attack, obviously. I guess I'm fine trading this off. I just can't imagine he doesn't want to get more lands into play. But I guess he doesn't care. And the reason I want a Cryptic, like bounce it back to my hand. That would be ideal. But so our opponent just concedes. I wonder what was in their hand. Maybe they drew really poorly. Well, that was going to be good. So let's say that next turn we play a Sphinx's Revelation, play this Plains. Our opponent does nothing again, and then the end of the turn we cast a Rev for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We would have drawn these 2 plus 1, 2, 3, So we would have drawn a ton of lands. Okay, what's underneath that? So then we go, all right, we're a little sad, but we play a land. And then let's say the next turn comes, we snap rev for, we would have had this into play. Let's just say we play this land, and it doesn't really matter. So Snapcaster Mage with these two, targeting Sphinx's Revelation. We pay 3, and we cast a rev for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Oh, we can't do it anymore. Oh well. Okay, well that is not how I'm not 100% sure, but I guess that's how the matchup goes. I guess if they don't draw a Valakut, I think that obviously the texture of this game is completely different if there's a Valakut in play, because then they are just, like, well, let's say one of these is a Valakut. Like, every land he begins to put in play is a mountain, and he just has this inevitability that we don't have. But that's not how it went. Okay, so this is the deck again. I hope that you guys like the match. I think I played okay-ish. Don't think I had any major punts. Maybe the Esper charm on him. I don't know. So I said I don't think has lands in his hand, but I think I just sort of forgot that he did play a land that turn. I think he had maybe skipped a turn or something where he didn't play a land. I could, you're welcome to go back and check. I could be mistaken. But I think I had a reason that I was thinking that he maybe didn't have lands, and that might have been it. What I actually thought he might have is I was thinking, okay, so he's not playing lands, even though he did play one, but he's missed a land drop or something, so he's not playing anything because we know we have counter magic, and he's not quite ready to try to grind through it, so he's kind of holding action in his hand for the moment. Maybe hoping he gets a Valakut in play or draws another piece of hand disruption if he's doing that. So I thought maybe if we Esper Charmed him, maybe we might get, like a Titan or Scape Shift or some business spell. I didn't want to just surgical anything, but if we had obviously got either one of those, then surgical extraction just kind of would have been insane, not to mention giving us really good hand information. Because as it turns out, if he had just played those lands, he discarded like an Overgrown Tomb and something else like a Forest or something, like the game doesn't change at all. But now we have 2 additional cards, which probably would have been the right way. Anyway, okay, so that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks a lot for watching. If you like the video, you know what to do. And by the way, I should have said this in the beginning, but I really appreciated a lot of you having some like supportive and nice things to say on when I took to that video blog where I was like, man, I'm just playing like garbage, and it was I appreciated the support. I mean, it's not like my life is falling apart. My life's pretty awesome, honestly. Like, I live in a great place and I have hobbies that I enjoy. It's just been, we want to stay in Switzerland and we're under a bit of a time crunch, and there's a bunch of stuff that kind of needs to happen if we're going to be able to do that. And, it's just anytime there's change in your life, like with my wife going back to work and Felix, think I'm so glad my mom is here. Let me just say that. Because he's definitely helping us with this transition until we can get some childcare services. That's the main reason she didn't come. I'm lucky that my mom's retired and was able to come for 2 months. But, and I've just been like massively stressed out with my job. So it's getting better though. I don't like to be a complainer. I don't like to like put my, I try to, for the most part, have a positive face. Even if I maybe don't internally always feel positive about things, and I don't really like to unload, my any stress that I have on people. And I guess I just felt like, I really wanted to stick to releasing a video a day. And I know a lot of you guys said, hey, man, it's not that big of a deal. Like, a video a day is a lot. A video a week would be fine. And maybe you're right. Maybe I have too high of an expectation on myself. I tend to be kind of person that puts high expectations on themselves anyway. But you know, it's just kind of what it represents, right? Like I look at this at the YouTube video as a project. It's I don't want to ramble too much. I will just say that, you know, I have had aspirations to start a company for a long time. I've had lots of different ideas, entrepreneurial ideas. It's I don't want to call it a hobby, but it's definitely a subject that I think a lot about. And they're not the same thing, but I guess I feel like in my mind, I just tell myself, if you can't be committed to creating content on YouTube, how could you ever be committed to creating a company? Now, obviously, it's not exactly the same, but I just look at it as a project for myself, not only to be like consistent and committed to something, but to produce something of reasonable quality. Now, you know, I could have a better light, right? I could have a cooler layout. I don't know how important those things are. I could make a better product. I could pre-record all of this with the DSLR camera so I have better video and edit it on the side. But then it would take even more time. And at the end of the day, I guess I just feel like what people want is consistent, more video content, not necessarily sharper video feed or less orange Nathan. Because I just don't think that that's what, you know, this is really about. It's about the game. So anyway, I'm rambling. All I really wanted to say is thanks. And I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your support. And some of you actually reached out to me on Facebook Messenger, and thank you for that as well. And I just want to reiterate, you know, my life isn't falling apart. It's just been a little bit more stressful lately, and you know, coupled with maybe missing out on sleep here and there. I think those two things just kind of make for an unfortunate combination. But you know, I'm trying to be. I just to put it out there, because I know some people might say, you know, try this, try that. So I met my wife for lunch yesterday. That was super like de-stressing. And I didn't worry about anything. We had a nice lunch together. I took my son over to her job. On the way back, I took the long way and I walked him through the botanical gardens, and I took my camera and I did some macro photography of some spring flowers that are in bloom. And then like this morning, rather than like get right to the grindstone, since we actually have sun today, I went to the park and, like, you know, just did practice my photography hobby a bit, which is relaxing and fun. And so I am trying to like proactively do some things to help alleviate that stress. The one thing that I need to do more of is to get back to like regular exercise, whether it's cycling or running or going to CrossFit. Because that's also great for feel good emotions and letting go of stress and all of that stuff. It's just, like I said, I feel so stressed for time these days that it's like, you know, the thought of going to do that, it's like, oh, I want to go to the gym. I got to work though. I got all this stuff to do before, you know, X, Y, and Z. And so anyway, okay, so that's all I'll say about that. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. I will see you guys soon with more Esper Draw Go. And until then, draw well and smash face.